Hello, I'm Sam with jbugs.com. Now that most of our 1971 Eurolux Super Beetle has been pulled apart, cleaned, and painted, we can finally begin assembling it. We'll focus on the chassis in the next few videos, including parts that are much easier to install while the body is out of the way. We've got the original pedal assembly and some aftermarket parts ready to assemble at our bench, and begin by setting the brake pedal spring onto the brake pedal base. Then we slide the hook into place on the post to keep it from flopping around during the installation. We grease the inner diameter of the brake pedal and the outer mount on the pedal assembly base. The brake pedal is slid onto the base, and the snap ring is installed to keep it in place. Next, we'll install the original clutch pedal and a new clutch pedal shaft. After making sure the new shaft fits into the pedal, it is greased and slid into the pedal assembly. The clutch pedal is installed on the opposite side, and we use a rubber mallet to tap the two together until the holes for the cross shaft pin line up. We check the alignment and notice that with our aftermarket shaft, we have a little bit of play back and forth. It isn't too much, but we can eliminate with a shim. So we tap the shaft out of the pedal and find a washer that will fit over the shaft. The shaft is reinstalled into the assembly, followed by the washer, and the clutch pedal slid into place and hammered in again with a mallet until the shaft pin can be installed. After making sure that the hook end and the pedal are both pointed in the same direction, the pin is set in place and then hammered in with a punch until the pin is contacting both sides of the clutch pedal. And now we can get to work on the accelerator pedal. MP recently released a stock replacement billet aluminum throttle pedal, and we really like the way it looks, so we decided to install one and see how well it works. We checked the fit with a pivot pin and spring from an accelerator repair kit to make sure they fit the pedal. Then we test fit the pedal to the assembly. With the fitment there confirmed, we pull the pedal off and continue. The pin on our stock accelerator pedal lever was broken off, so we grab a new lever, test fit it, and see that the base is too wide. So, after lightly grinding off the pressed flashing on the stamped pedal, we install the roller, washer, and circlip onto the pin to hold the roller in place. We apply a light coat of grease to the lever and the lever pin, and then slide the pin into the pedal assembly base through the lever. The MP throttle pedal is reinstalled using a punch to help line up the return spring on the pin after setting the bottom leg of the return spring under the bottom edge of the pedal assembly base. Next, we'll install some MP brake and clutch pedal pads, which are made to complement the billet throttle pedal. The pads are stretched into place over the brake and clutch pedal, and then we notice a bit of an issue with the accelerator pedal. When the lever is all the way back, the guide ramp on the back of the pedal is out of position. So we peel off the rubber pad and try flipping the ramp around and even trimming the ramp before deciding that the pedal operates well without the ramp at all. So we just run without it. The look and feel of the pedal offset the poor engineering. The double stick tape that held the rubber pad in place is peeled off. We apply some black RTV silicone and set the pad back in place. For an extra bit of security, we pull off the brake and clutch pedal pads for a moment and lay a bead of RTV down to make sure they stay in place well into the future. Back at our chassis, we set our freshly painted large bore master cylinder in place and thread in the original clean bolts with a spacer slid over them. The bolts are tightened down. The original push rod with the lock nut is threaded on and inserted, and the pedal clevis is threaded on. The pedal assembly is lined up on the chassis, and the brake pedal spring hook is pulled off so we can install the push rod, and then the hook is looped back into place on the brake pedal. The opposite end of the brake pedal spring is looped towards the rear of the chassis and set onto the pedal assembly base to hold tension onto the brake pedal. Then we thread the pedal assembly bolts into place into the tunnel, tighten them down, and finally install the brake pedal pushrod clip. The best part of this is since we cut a clutch cable access into our tunnel, we don't have to do all this while holding down the clutch pedal. A stock accelerator cable is slid into the tunnel and fed all the way to the back. Then, with the help of some needle nose pliers, the dogleg end is installed into the pedal lever. Opposite the pedal assembly, we can see into the tunnel where we'll feed the clutch cable. It's fed into the tunnel tube. Then the cable end is installed over the hook, and we can move to the back of the chassis. Here, we install the chassis tube boot over the clutch and accelerator cables and push it down into the chassis before sliding the clutch cable Bowden tube and accelerator cable tube in place over the cables and into the boot. We'll take a break here until the next video, where we'll get our new transmission and shift rod installed. Thanks for watching. Let us know if you have any questions in the comments below. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, when you need parts for your vintage Volkswagen, head over to jbugs.com.